The drama surrounding Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor was never supposed to resurface like this. Not now. Not 7 months after retirement. Not after the gloves were left in the center of the octagon in New Orleans, under the lights, in front of a hometown crowd that watched one of the most beloved careers in modern MMA quietly close its final chapter. And yet, on a seemingly ordinary February morning in 2026, the past came roaring back to life with 7 words typed into a phone screen, words that detonated across the combat sports world with the force of unfinished business finally refusing to stay buried. We're going to fight again. Whether it's in the octagon or on the sidewalk, you don't say the stuff he said. That wasn't a threat spoken in the heat of promotion. That was Dustin Poirier speaking moments after UFC 264, moments after watching his rival's leg collapse beneath him, moments after years of venom, resentment, and deeply personal lines crossed reached a grotesque and unforgettable conclusion inside the cage. At the time, it sounded like closure. Like a man finally exhaling after carrying something heavy for too long. But closure, as it turns out, was never really on the table. On February 7, 2026, exactly 7 months and 19 days after officially walking away from professional fighting, Poirier logged onto X and reminded the entire MMA community that retirement does not erase memory. It does not dissolve resentment. And it certainly does not rewrite history. He didn't tease a comeback. He didn't hint at negotiations. He didn't sell nostalgia. Instead, he quote-tweeted an old clip of Conor McGregor posturing in a karate stance during one of their past encounters and attached a line so blunt, so unapologetic, and so unmistakably personal that it felt less like trash talk and more like a statement of record. Beat his ass. Felt so nice I did it twice. Within hours, the post erupted. Thousands of likes. Hundreds of reposts. An avalanche of replies from fans who couldn't quite process what they were witnessing. A retired future Hall of Famer, 7 months removed from his farewell fight, publicly eviscerating the biggest star the sport has ever produced, not for attention, not for hype, but because the wound was never fully healed. And Poirier wasn't done. He stayed. He scrolled. He responded. Anyone who tried to rewrite the past found themselves face to face with a man who remembers every second of it. When a fan claimed the third fight didn't count, Poirier fired back with surgical indifference, telling them to check the records. When others accused him of wrestling to avoid McGregor's left hand, he calmly pointed out who initiated the grappling exchanges. And when revisionist history tried to suggest the third fight was competitive before the leg break, Poirier shut it down without raising his voice. It wasn't close. He was punishing him. The MMA media machine did what it always does when history reopens old scars. Clips circulated. Screenshots spread. Headlines asked the forbidden question. Could this lead to a fourth fight? Especially with rumors swirling about a potential UFC event at the White House, a spectacle that could theoretically mark McGregor's long-awaited return. And that's what makes this moment different. This wasn't a retired fighter bored on social media. This wasn't nostalgia farming. This was context colliding with timing. Conor McGregor had been teasing a comeback throughout early 2026. Training clips. Cryptic declarations. Invoking faith, destiny, and modern science. Promising the world had seen nothing yet. Meanwhile, reports quietly suggested Poirier might be the one man willing to step back into the fire to welcome him back. McGregor, notably, said nothing. No response. No clapback. No counter. As Poirier's words spread, McGregor posted about family, cigars, faith, and vague timelines. Silence where there was once noise. And for those who understand this rivalry, that silence spoke volumes. Because reconciliation was never part of this story. When McGregor publicly congratulated Poirier on the birth of his child earlier that year, Poirier ignored it. When asked in interviews whether the feud was over, his answer was brief and unmistakable. There was no handshake waiting. No olive branch accepted. No chapter neatly closed. To understand why, you have to go back more than a decade, back to a brash Irish striker and a young man from Cajun country crossing paths for the first time. Their collision at UFC 178 wasn't just a fight. It was a moment that reshaped 2 careers in opposite directions. McGregor arrived as a rising force, armed with psychological warfare the sport had never seen. Poirier arrived as a talented but emotionally raw 25-year-old still searching for stability, still carrying the weight of a difficult upbringing. The fight lasted 106 seconds. That's all it took. McGregor's left hand ended it, and Poirier collapsed under the lights as the world watched. For McGregor, it was fuel. For Poirier, it was humiliation. He later admitted the trash talk got inside his head, forcing him to fight with emotion instead of discipline. That night rewired him. While McGregor ascended into superstardom, collecting titles, records, and global fame, Poirier rebuilt himself quietly. Methodically, he sharpened his boxing, deepened his grappling, developed the calf kicks that would later change everything. He became a complete lightweight, one of the most dangerous in the division, even if the belt always seemed just out of reach. When they met again at UFC 257, the dynamic had changed. The respect didn't last long. Poirier absorbed the early storm and dismantled McGregor's lead leg with precision. By the second round, the damage was undeniable. The counter-right hook dropped McGregor. The ground and pound finished him. For the first time in his UFC career, McGregor was stopped by strikes. That should have been the end of it. Instead, it became something darker. The charity dispute. The accusations. The public questioning of Poirier's foundation. The tone shifted from rivalry to resentment. And then came the build-up to UFC 264, where McGregor crossed a line he could never uncross. Attacks on Poirier's wife, Jolie. Degrading insults. Deleted tweets that lived forever through screenshots. For Poirier, this wasn't promotion. This was personal. Jolie wasn't just his partner. She was there when he had nothing. She wrote him letters in juvenile detention, drove him to his first fights, slept in rundown motels while he chased a dream that barely paid. She believed when belief was scarce. And McGregor dragged her name into the mud. On July 10, 2021, the score was settled in bone.